How's it going? So, I just got out of a meeting. I kind of had an eventful afternoon. I met with my counselor. All of a sudden, he wanted to have this surprise meeting with me. He said that was going to be our weekly one-on-one meeting. So when I got into his office, he basically was calling me in there to tell me that he had contacted my probation officer, which was fine. I had a release of information open for him to contact my PO, but there was only certain things that I wanted to disclose to my parole officer. So right away, instead of talking about my progress here in class and in group and in recovery in general, he wanted to discuss my release of information and basically confront me about why I didn't have it completely wide open for him to just give all medical information and all progress reports and all case history and case planning and all that. Like, why wasn't everything being disclosed to probation and parole? And here's what my argument was for that. I let him know that the reason I don't want certain things disclosed to probation and parole is that me personally, in my own experience, have had things that I've disclosed in treatment used against me by my probation and parole officers to try to incarcerate me unfairly, put rules on me that I don't believe were valid due to information that I disclosed in treatment. And so therefore there are certain things that I did not want disclosed. To me, I feel like it's important that my probation officer knows that I'm here, that I'm participating in groups, that I'm making progress in my recovery, and that there's no issues behaviorally with me. Those are the things that I feel are important for a probation officer to know in regards to information from a treatment center. Like right now, I'm not court ordered to be here. So therefore, in my opinion, any information that I give my probation officer is more than what he really has the right to have. Anything I give him is like a gift. And in my experience, dealing with probation and parole hasn't been good. So I really should not disclose anything to them. I'm here for my own recovery. I'm here for my own reasons. I'm here to get better. I'm here to sober up. I'm here to change my life and change my ways, change the things that I do and the ways that I think, and hopefully have good relapse prevention plans, and hopefully have a good sober support system, get a sponsor. I'm here to develop new habits, like going to meetings and being spiritual, going to church, being in contact with my children, doing positive, sober things, trying to reunite and like fix broken relationships. I'm not here to try to please probation, even though that happens to be something that might be a part of all of this. But to me, it's the very last thing on my mind is trying to please probation or parole. They will get their information that they need, what's necessary to decide whether or not I'm complying or in compliance with my rules and conditions of probation, which at the time does not include me going to going to treatment at all. I fought to be here at this treatment center. I went to jail on a violation back in August, and right away I pitched it to my probation officer that I go to treatment. I had already done a Rule 25 assessment. I had funding set up. I had a bed available at a facility, and they told me no. They said no. Matter of fact, I have the letter right here from the supervisor at the Superior Douglas County Parole Office, Aaron Lenmark. And in this letter, or in his response, here's what I got. And this is official. That is the Wisconsin Department of Corrections letterhead, signed by none other than CFS Aaron Lenmark. Mr. Solis, this letter is in response to your request for administrative review. It was not received by me until today. It was originally addressed to the Public Defender's Office and then subsequently rerouted to the DOC. I will address your requests one at a time. 1. Huber is not currently allowed at the Douglas County Jail. That is a jail decision. Releasing on electronic monitoring is not allowed under the rules of a DOC sanction. Therefore, no Huber can be granted in your case. Just to be clear, Agent Eric Rude did ask me about 303-08, which is a statute involving Huber on Department of Corrections sanctions. And I did not recall the specifics of that statute at the moment. So that is not a lie. However, 303-08 also clearly states that the jail has the authority to approve or disapprove Huber privileges. Douglas County has chosen to suspend Huber completely. Again, that is their decision to make. 2. I read through all your messages back and forth. Pause. I had given him transcripts of messages between Eric Rude and I where I felt like Eric Rude was being biased and discriminatory in my denial of Huber privileges at the time. I understand that you may be I read through all of your messages back and forth. I do not find any that are racial, biased, or discriminatory. I understand that you may be upset that you did not get your answer you were looking for, but there's nothing in these texts that is out of line on my agent's parts. That's arguable. 3. Our decision to do a sanction for 90 days was in lieu of revocation. You were transferred to Minnesota via interstate compact. You had multiple violations in Minnesota, and then you were arrested in Wisconsin and now have pending felony here. You were also sentenced in Minnesota for disorderly conduct and placed on supervision there for 1 year. This disorderly conduct behavior happened right at the time we transferred your case to Minnesota. I'm not in agreement with releasing you from the sanction early. Now, this is dated October 5th. I am not in agreement with releasing you from the sanction early. 4. If you plan to return to Minnesota after release from the sanction, then let Eric know. He is the agent that is responsible for all interstate compact outgoing transfers. If you are transferred back to Minnesota, your day-to-day supervision would be with a Minnesota agent. You will certainly be able to complete programs that are available to you upon your release. I know that you were in several treatment facilities in Minnesota, but chose to leave those facilities. Not true. I was at 2 separate facilities. One of them discharged me against my own, will. I wanted to stay there. They discharged me and said that I did not meet the criteria for high-intensity inpatient treatment. They gave me a referral for outpatient services, and I had already done the assessment and was in the process of getting accepted into New Ways outpatient program in Duluth when I went to jail on this violation, which is provable, and I've already given that documentation to the DOC in Wisconsin and Minnesota. So, finally, I hope that you are serious about treatment and make the changes needed to be successful. Sincerely, Aaron Lenmark. So, he denies my Huber. Oops.